Hey guys, Auspicious Aussie here, and welcome to episode 8 of the Inter Miami series here on FM 20. Now, today's episode is going to be the Superdraft for 2021. As you can see, we're currently on the 14th of January 2021. The Superdraft is an interesting feature of the MLS. If you've never actually seen it before, we're going to go through it, and I'm going to try and do a bit of a proper draft, as you will. You can skip straight to your picks, but I feel like for the video's sake, and I did this on last year's game with Atlanta United when I did a series with them, we're going to go through and see each team's pick, and then eventually our pick will come. I think we have the 19th pick, possibly. I think it's the 19th. Either 16 or 19, I can't remember exactly. But I also did trade away our second round pick. We do have a new player that I did that for. So we're not going to have a second round pick. We've got a first round pick. And then, of course, we've got a third and fourth round pick, depending on who's sort of left. As you can see, there are a few trades that we've done. And, a not so good trade. Well, in theory, I think it's a very good trade. But obviously, the fans and the board do not agree with it. Now, all that's going to be coming in the next episode, which will be a bit of a pre-season review, plus as well as all the transfers, and we'll get into the first two games of the season. Anyway, let's get straight into the draft here. As you can see, I do have a few shortlisted players, players that are actually pretty decent, that I'm somewhat interested in. And we'll just kick things off. Alright, so Chicago Fire with the first pick. And they pick Chris Anderson, who is a very, very talented left winger. He's actually from Chicago. Well, he's from Des Moines, sorry. Drafted to Chicago, obviously. Alright, the next pick will be the San Jose Earthquakes. And they pick Eric Roscoe. Another very, very talented left winger. Actually, a player I was thinking about recruiting ourselves. Third pick, Minnesota United. And they pick Nick Mishold, who's a pretty versatile player. And he's also got really good mental attributes there, as you can see. More of an attacking midfielder, though, so it's okay. Montreal Impact with the fourth pick, choosing John Miklos, another player I was actually pretty interested in. Semi-decent right back. Good determination, good pace, good long throwing as well. New England Revolution with the fifth pick. And they choose goalkeeper Jake Harris. Not too bad. Goalkeepers are somewhat of a rarity, I would say, in the draft. Alright, Columbus Crew with the sixth pick. And they pick... Wait, what's happened there? What has happened there? That's so confusing. Did they swap picks or something? I think they swapped draft picks. Columbus and Minnesota. Didn't even realize that you could do that. So I guess Columbus picked Brian Morris Landrigan, who's not that great, to be honest. And then they swapped draft picks. I had no idea. Even I'm learning here today. I had no idea you could do that. Okay, that's interesting. Noted. Next up, we've got Montreal, who have 4 picks in the space of about 7. They got the 7th pick, the 8th pick, and then the 10th pick. And they also had, the 4th pick as well? Alright, let's see who they go for. Number 7. Okay, so Colorado have, again, traded picks with Montreal for the 7th pick. So they get Chris Woods, Pretty good central midfielder. He was on the short list, as you can see there. I guess hopefully Montreal be picking next. This trading picks during the draft has really thrown me. See, as you can, that must be it. Make offer for draft pick right there. Interesting. And there we go. New York have traded picks again for Montreal. Interesting. Okay. And they've chosen midfielder David Johnson. Another attacking midfielder there. And that was the 8th pick. Up next, we've got New England Revolution. Actually, we've got the Chicago Fire. And they have picked centre back Jack Barrera, who was actually going to be my first round pick. But that's fine. That's fine. Still, hopefully, a lot of other good players out there. Next up, supposedly Montreal. And it is indeed Montreal. They pick Tyler Murray. Another relatively good centre-back on the shortlist. We're kind of losing a lot of our shortlisted players. But they are the better players in the draft that I have scouted anyway. Up next, LAFC. And they pick David Velasquez. Pretty good central midfielder. More of an attacking midfielder as well. Up next, we've got New England Revolution again. Possibly... Yep, they've traded their draft pick with Columbus. And Columbus have picked Guy O'Connor, a left attacking winger. Chicago Fire with the 13th pick. And they pick Alex Sadie. Another one on the shortlist, I believe. Yep. He's more of an attacking midfielder again, but one of the better players still left in the draft. Going on to DC United with the 14th pick. And they pick Kevin Meyer, who was actually really sought after before the draft. There was a lot of inboxes about this guy. I mean, he looks okay for a right winger. Nothing too special. Really good physicals, I guess, but apart from that, not my cup of tea, really. We got FC Dallas with the 15th pick. And they have traded with the Chicago Fire. And Chicago have picked Ernesto Montero. He looks like a half-decent striker there. Alright, up next we have Toronto FC with the 16th pick. And they pick Malik Pisquotti, who is a 21-year-old Canadian attacking midfielder. Alright, up next, again, New England Revolution with the 17th pick. And they pick Carlos Wright, another attacking midfielder. The 18th pick, we have FC Dallas once again. Last time they traded their pick away to Chicago. This time they pick Kevin Smith, a pretty talented left back, actually. Solid defensively and relatively fit. Another one on my shortlist there. A little bit unfortunate. I was hoping to get him either in the 3rd round or, well, I was planning on the 2nd round. But of course we did throw that draft into a trade offer. Alright, up next is us. Now, the real question is, who do we want to pick? Or, I should say, who is left to pick? Now, Steve Kerry was the player that I kind of wanted more than anyone. And he hasn't been chosen yet. He's an attacking midfielder, but I feel like we can easily retrain him to play a box-to-box. You know, he's got relatively good attacking stats, good passing, good technique. Physicals are okay, good balance, strength. Obviously needs a bit of work on the pace. But apart from that, I think he's relatively good. And the only problem is we do have good centre midfielders already. I'm not 100% sure if he's my choice. We've also got this guy, Roberto Carrillo, who's a left winger. Probably not as good as some of the other choices that have already been picked. But if I scroll down a little bit, we've got a few more players to look at. We've got Daniel Washington, another sort of attacking midfielder. I don't really think he's any better than some of the centre mids that we have at the moment. Even some of our backup centre mids, perhaps. Going a little further down, we've got Thomas Correa. You know what? He actually looks like a decent centre half. Got 11 passing, so he does sort of fit that mould. Just the first touch and the heading that really puts me off. He's a possibility, though. He's a possibility. Alright, who else have we got? Anyone else? We've got Macias and Ward. Let's have a look at Ward. Ward's very much a strong defensive midfielder in relation to his, tackling, passing, and marking. I don't know if he would make a good box-to-box midfielder. So we're gonna take a miss on Brian Ward, I think. A little bit further down, we've got Josh Ripken. I think I might go with him. I think he's the play. Relatively good pace, very strong defensively, not too bad going forward. But as you can see, his mentals for a 21-year-old are very, very good. Have a look at his history. He hasn't played too well at the club that he's been at. So I'm not 100% sure. So we've got a few more players. We've got this guy, Jeremy Orr. Not as good as some of the other centre-backs that have already gone. And I don't think there's anyone else, really. Herb Brook. He doesn't look that good either, to be honest. Could possibly be available later on. It's a tough one, because I really do want to go with... Yeah, it's a tough one. I really want to go with... We look at... Oh, Jake Harris is gone. Yeah, Josh Ripken. I feel like Josh Ripken... I want to make him my choice. At the same time, Steve Kerry. But also got good free kick taking, which is part of the problem because I feel like we don't have anyone that's outstanding at free kicks in the team at the moment. Alright, we're going to go with Ripken. And I'm only going to do that because I feel like we've got a stacked midfield already. Alright, Josh Ripken, the right back. Welcome to Inter Miami. Alright, moving on. We have the 20th pick overall and Vancouver pick Ian Prosper. Relatively good Canadian striker there. Fair play to them. Next pick we have DC United and they pick Roberto Carrillo. Of course, one of the players I just showed you. Up next we've got New England Revolution. They have 3 picks. They possibly might trade them away. Let's have a look. No, so the 22nd pick, they choose Edwin Ruiz. Actually, doesn't look too bad. Good pace for a left winger. 23rd pick, they choose Steve Kerry. Fair enough. I figured he would go at some stage in the first round. I kind of thought that he would go a bit earlier, to be honest. And the 24th pick, they choose Daniel Washington. Of course, another player on the shortlist. And now we have Real Salt Lake with the 25th pick. And they choose Alan Villa. Yeah, I'm not a fan of him, to be honest. Really bad crossing and dribbling. The pace is okay, but yeah, he's definitely lacking. And I believe it's the final pick of the first round. The Vancouver Whitecaps. And they choose Jordan Poole. A relatively average Canadian central midfielder. Okay, now we're into the second round of the draft, as you can see here. Basically, what I'm going to do is just skip to my next pick, which I believe will be... It says it's number 42. Interesting. I thought we traded away our pick in the second round. I guess not. Maybe we had someone else's pick. I can't remember. Okay. Get to choose another player. Now there are, looks like a few players left. Okay, we got Macias, Brian Ward as well. Of course, the more defensive midfielder. Going down the list, we still have Jeremy Orr. he's pretty bang average, to be honest. And there's really not anyone else left. It's usually by about this stage where the draft sort of falls apart a little bit. I'm just going to go with Herb Brook for our second round pick. He's probably the best of what we've got left, and he's pretty much the last player left on our shortlist. So, yeah, we'll do that. We'll skip to our next pick, which is the 71st pick overall. Basically, there's no one left, so what we're going to do is pass and finish. One of the reasons why I do like to trade away those third and fourth round picks, there's just not a lot of good players left. They're all below average. Anyway, let's finish the draft here, and we will have a look at our draft picks. So here we have Ripken. Pretty much these guys, I mean, he just wants to be an emergency backup. I kind of see him, yeah, he's an emergency backup. We already have 2 right backs in front of him. We could possibly even loan him out. Give him a 3-year contract. We'll try and get him for as little as possible. There we go, 1,000 per week, which is the minimum for a senior player. And apparently Herb Brook wants, well, it looks like he wants a reserve contract, which is fine. I'm going to try and remove these. I don't like, yeah, there we go, breakthrough prospect. And as you can see, he wants a reserve contract, which is a little bit lower than a normal senior contract with a minimum of 825 per week. So yeah, we'll offer that to him. Let's advance a little bit. Don't really want to give too much away in regards to transfers and trades that we've got going on at the moment. But yeah, been a relatively good episode. As you can see, this is a Superdraft grades. And yeah, as you can see, we probably find ourselves right down the bottom with an E. And that's basically because we didn't even use all our draft picks. So fair enough. As you can see, a lot of these clubs somehow getting A pluses. And yeah, all these assignments are finished. These are just the players I was scouting throughout the draft. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And there's our picks. We've got Herb Brook. So we'll ask Ulasunde to welcome him. And then we have a bit of a scouting meeting there. So yeah, that's going to wrap this episode up, guys. It's been a relatively short episode. It's only about, 15, 16 minutes long. Let me know if you enjoyed it, and let me know if you're interested in seeing these super drafts going forward. I love the concept of a draft. It really makes you look through players and sort of scout them, especially the players that you might need for your team. I enjoy it. I know a lot of you guys enjoyed it with the Atlanta United series previously. Drop a like on the video to show your support. And as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And yeah, apart from that, take it easy and goodbye.